Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Fort Worth. We're so glad that you've chosen to spend Friday with us, and we have a very special meeting today featuring members of the Interact Club at the Young Women's Leadership Academy. Here to give our invocation is Shadi Kalani, Divisional Dean, Tarrant County College, which will be followed by the national anthem led by Calvin Dennis, Business Performance Advisor, Insperity. Shadi?
Good afternoon. Before we turn to the work of the day, let us take a moment to pause and reflect. The events of this week remind us that the world is complex and constantly changing. In many places, there is uncertainty, and in others, there is great opportunity. Moments like these remind us that peace, stability, and progress require thoughtful leadership and a shared sense of responsibility. We are mindful of those who serve our nation and our communities in many ways, including those who wear the uniform of our country. May they remain safe, and may wisdom guide those entrusted with decisions that affect the lives of many. And here in Fort Worth, a community built on service, leadership, and a deep commitment to one another, may we carry forward our own responsibility with integrity, humility, and purpose. As Rotarians, we are called to strengthen our community, support one another, and help create opportunity for those who follow us. As we begin today's meeting, may our conversations be thoughtful, our decisions wise, and our work guided by Rotary's enduring commitment to service above self. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Shadi and Calvin. Each month, we recognize the birthdays of all our club members in the Rotograph, but today we need to say happy birthday to someone who is literally the backbone of our club director, Aurora Newberry. Her birthday is Sunday, so let's sing. Calvin? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Aurora. Happy birthday to you. All right. Have a great birthday, Aurora. Here to welcome our guest is Evan Lewis, Vice President and Relationship Manager for the Bank of America. Evan.
Good afternoon, Rotarians.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. So as I call your names, please just stand to be recognized by us, and thank you for attending today. So our first guest is Cynthia Powell, guest of Brad Nolan. Our next guest is Punch Shaw, also guest of Brad Nolan. Next, we have Annalise Martinic, guest of Tennessee Walker. We have Ariel Smith, guest of Fred Roos. And we have Isabel Cable, guest of Juan Acosta. We also have Braden Lambrecht, guest of Mac Kimball. We have Lorena Vargas, guest of Crystal Galvin. We also have Kristen Soto, guest of Linda Lopez. We have guest Dr. Shagranda Traveler, guest of Courtney Lewis. We have Anthony Hill, guest of Ryan Perucci. And last, we have Kent Durham, a visiting Rotarian from Azle. Awesome. Well, thank you all for attending.
Thanks, Evan. Today's meeting is sponsored by the Patterson Law Group, personal injury attorneys here in Fort Worth, and Rotarian Tennessee Walker, partner and head of litigation. We appreciate their support and sponsorship of the four-way test competition again this year. Thank you, Tennessee. Each week, we repeat together the four-way test. This is certainly appropriate today since we have the four-way test competition. Please join me. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. You may have noticed that our programs have been outstanding this year, thanks to our great program committee. Yes, they are. And they are hard at work lining up programs for the Rotary year that starts on July 1st. If you have any suggestions for a Rotary program, please email or get in touch with Mike Herman, chairman of the committee, because they are open to all suggestions. Thank you. We now have 3 grant presentations today, and here to present the first 2 is Grants Allocation Committee Chair Regina Fodden, who is president of the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. Regina.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege on behalf of the club to distribute these grants to some very worthy organizations. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about the first one, which is called Stones Throw Farm. The farm is a sustainable nonprofit farm in Tarrant County that grows seasonal produce without synthetic fertilizers or pesticides while performing hands-on work opportunities for teens and young adults with disabilities. Interns learn skills in gardening, food preparation, customer service, and retail, with some progressing to paid roles as they gain independence. The farm also partners with local producers and operates a small grocery and mobile farm stand to strengthen the local food system. The club grant will help Stones Throw Farm support the expansion of the farm's garden beds. The project will support the environment with a healthy garden full of healthy produce. It helps the community thrive by offering wages to people with special needs and job training for them when they are ready to move on, and basic education by teaching participants gardening skills, encouraging healthy food and exercise habits, improving social skills, and fostering teamwork. So Jack and Trish Stone are here today to accept the grant award. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And our second grant award is given to the Northside Intercommunity Agency, or NICA. Northside Intercommunity Agency has supported Fort Worth neighbors since 1969 with compassionate services that promote stability, dignity, and hope through emergency food and clothing assistance, community connections, case management, good works, senior nutrition, and family programs like Juntos Leamos, Our Little Library, and seasonal outreach. NICA meets people's immediate needs and helps them move forward. They also provide year-round diapers, wipes, hygiene items, and Christmas toys for children. The Fort Worth Rotary Club will support the NICA program, Aventura Rising, an equity-based program serving up to 10th through 12th graders who are eligible for Texas Emergency Food and Nutrition Assistance, prioritizing Northside High School and surrounding zip codes. Aventura Rising offers multi-year mentorship, leadership development, and post-secondary readiness to help students achieve long-term and academic and personal success. And we are joined by Catherine Hollis and Lizeth Garcia. Money. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Regina, and congratulations to Stones Throw Farm and NICA. We are pleased to support your fine programs. Our next presentation will be made today by the co-chairs of our International Committee, Key Bryant and Shauna Saldana. Key and Shauna.
Good afternoon. Hi. We're going to let Key talk. Shannon and I are super excited to be able to partner with the International Newcomer Academy again for the 5th year. And we want to give a special thank you to the club and to the board for allocating the $5,000 check that we're able to award them this year. This check allows for them to purchase bicycles for students in need. And it's not just us. The Patrick Worwell Memorial Foundation supports them with the purchasing of the bikes, as well as the Tarrant County Medical Alliance allows for them to have free helmets so that they can stretch that $5,000 just a little bit further. And another special thank you to the Knights of Columbus for putting those bikes together, because I know I couldn't do it. So we are so excited to award the check to Miss Faha Alatrash, Faha Alatrash, and Shannon Worrell.
Thank you so much. They want us to scoot that way a little bit. Scoot back. Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Congratulations to the Newcomers Academy, and thank you to our partners in this venture, the Patrick Worrell Foundation, Tarrant Medical Alliance, and the Knights of Columbus. And be glad the Knights are putting those bikes together. Today, we have a special treat, the 4-way test competition. It's now my pleasure to introduce our chairperson of the day, Tennessee Walker. Tennessee.
Thank you, President Ann. It's my pleasure and honor to stand here again this year. I lost track, but I've been doing this for several years. It's a wonderful day for our club. And first, I want to give a shout out to some fellow Rotarians. Maddie Compton, Shanna Saldana, and Christina Judge are volunteered to be our judges today. And Ed McClin is going to be our timekeeper. So thank you all for volunteering and helping us out today. I want to give a quick thank you to my employer, Patterson Law Group, who has consistently sponsored this event every year. We hope you never need our services, but if you do, we're there for you. Moving on to the more important things, though, you're going to hear from 6 wonderful young ladies today who go to school at the Young Women's Leadership Academy that's a stone's throw down the road here. It is really just a shining example of what public education can be and is here in Fort Worth. It's a wonderful academy. Gaynell Belazon is here today. She is instrumental in helping me pull this off every year. She helps set up practice times for the students that I can work with them. She is a wonderful representative of YWLA. She's going to tell you a little bit more about the school. But before she does, I want to say a little bit about the competition. These young ladies have been asked to choose a topic that's near and dear to them and analyze it using our 4-way test. This isn't about, in today's climate, whether we agree with what they choose or don't agree with what they choose. This is about the amazing courage it takes for these 6 young ladies to get up in a room like this in front of business and community leaders and give us speeches that they've worked hard on. And their product is great. I think you're in for a treat. Really appreciate you being here and supporting the competition, and I look forward to a wonderful program. And with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Belazon to tell us a little bit more about Young Women's Leadership Academy.
Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Belazan, and I am a CTE teacher at the Young Women's Leadership Academy. I've had the honor of serving at YWLA for the past 13 years. I also have the privilege of serving as a sponsor for the young ladies presenting today, and I could not be more proud of their dedication and hard work. I'm here to share a few words on behalf of our esteemed principal, Mrs. Radisha Allen. The Young Women's Leadership Academy is a 6th through 12th grade campus located in downtown Fort Worth and is proud to be Fort Worth ISD's first single-gender school. The Academy opened its doors in 2010 to our inaugural class of 75 6th grade students. Since then, YWLA has continued to grow while remaining committed to meeting the needs of young women through an outstanding college preparatory curriculum with a strong emphasis on math, science, and technology. Our students have the opportunity to pursue career pathways in civil engineering, architecture, graphic design, and visual arts. Beyond academics, they also participate in a variety of athletics, including volleyball, soccer, basketball, and track and field. Today, our school proudly serves 386 young women, and since our first graduating class in 2016, we have maintained a remarkable record of 100% college acceptance every single year. Thank you. This year, we are honored to have 46 graduating seniors continuing that tradition of excellence. It is with great pride and excitement that we're here today to participate in a Rotary Club's four-way speech contest. Thank you for giving our students the opportunity to share their voices, their ideas, and their leadership. I would like to especially thank Mr. Tennessee Walker for his guidance, dedication, and support in preparing our students each year for this competition. His commitment to helping them grow as speakers and leaders is truly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Belazan. And she beat me to the punch. I wrote one note. I always like to make sure we get that 100% college placement in, and she nailed it. It's truly amazing. If you get an opportunity, there's a lot of service opportunities, not just through Rotary, but go check out YWLA. They're doing amazing work and producing wonderful young women who are going to be leaders in Fort Worth and beyond. With that, we are going to get to the competition. Our first competitor today is Arissa Alanese. Arissa is an enthusiastic 11th grade student at Young Women's Leadership Academy. She's currently pursuing the graphic design pathway. She has a deep passion for character games and interior design, and she hopes to become an architect in the future. Arissa is driven by a vision to help bring a new visual era to the United States through innovative and impactful architectural design. Please help me in welcoming Arissa Alanese to the stage. This is the adjustable, and Ed's right there with your time card, so if we can put it.
Being a teenager is strange. It's weird, confusing, and intimidating at times. It's not a new concept that teens create this world in their head to get away from it all, whether it be the pressures for just being in high school, academics, or just teenhood in general. Every teenager needs this place for themselves, and some teenagers just choose this place to be their bedroom. Due to this, a teen can appear to become self-isolated because they choose to be in their happy place so much. But in reality, they're simply going to their safe space to wind down. after a hard day, and I will use this 4-way test to challenge the assumptions made by adults towards teenagers about self-isolation and what it really means for teens. Is it the truth? Is it true that when teenagers self-isolate, they're doing it for bad reason? No. There's such a variety of reasons that a teenager could be staying in their room for such a long period of time. But one of them is to be able to have their own space. As a teenager, hopefully some of you can remember, you have no self-control. You live with your parents, or you have a sibling waiting outside your door waiting to say, "Come play with me," which you just don't really feel like doing. A teen isn't avoiding the reality. They're managing stress to avoid mentally breaking down, as adults also should do. As an adult, do you want to come home after a long day at work and start on a bigger project when you get home from work? Do you want people coming at you asking about your day, and after you just spent a whole day talking to people you probably don't like? Teenagers already have enough on their shoulders, the stresses of growing up. They need this space. As a parent or a hardworking adult, take this as your sign to also decompress and think about your day. It's true that everybody needs a break. Is it fair to all concerned? It's not. Obviously, parents want to, talk to their child after a long day. But most children opt to go to their room to do schoolwork, to decompress, and on weekends, they take that entire day for themselves to get away from everything. Letting teenagers have their own space can naturally encourage them to be more social with family, because when they come out, that means they want to talk. It's that opportunity to open a new door. Letting a teen be relaxed and ready means they won't be nearly as moody when they do talk to you, Forcing a teen out of their room is a guaranteed way to start a confrontation. And this alone time feels extremely fair to a teen who does have to be at a school for 8 hours, listen to adults talk, do assignments, do tests, and expected to be chipper when they get home. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? It may not appear to build goodwill and better friendships between the teenager's friends, family, or connections. But in the long run, it ultimately will help that teen have a sense of self and security and identity. It's a very important step in that transition to adulthood. If a teen can trust that a parent will only call them out of their room when they're truly needed and not willy-nilly, "Can you get me some water?" This will be extremely important later in their life when they start their own family. Talking from personal experience, when I made my needs known that I needed some alone time after school, instead of being forced out of my room to conversate, I set this clear boundary that this is what I need. It's been around 2 months since I did that, and I have felt so much closer to my parents from just them allowing me to have my space long term and without judging me. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is self-isolation beneficial to a growing teenager? For that, I can't say there is a set answer, because people develop in different ways. Some people need more help than others, but if they make it clear that they don't really want or need your help, then you probably need to leave them alone. Personally, when I was growing up, I chose to learn a lot of things on my own and chose to kind of be independent from the moment I could talk. I fiend for that independence, and I learned new skills on my own. I learned how to cook on my own and deep clean on my own and other little skills, because I just wanted to feel independent. Ultimately, I know that these can do a little more harm than good, because there was some friction between me and my parents for a while. But I'd rather this for the long run than to have a short-term relationship with my parents and it being full of friction. Using the 4-way test, I have hopefully changed your perception on how to view the newer generation and their way of conducting independence. I know it's not the way many of you grew up, not having these private spaces for yourself and your minds, but this shift in mindset will ultimately help build a less dependent society, one that knows how to function on their own and help themselves without relying on others. Thank you.
Thank you, Arissa. Wonderful job. Our next contestant is Kyla Evans. Kyla is a senior at Young Women's Leadership Academy. She's passionate about making a positive impact in her school and local community and dedicates much of her time to service and leadership. Through Kyla's involvement in the Interact Club and the National Honor Society, she participates in a variety of volunteer initiatives that allow her to support others, build meaningful connections, and develop her leadership skills. Please welcome Kyla Evans. Adjustable, and Ed's got the time cards right there.
Am I a mother, am I a sister, or am I a combination of both? Today I'll be using the 4A test to reflect on my past treatments as well as my current treatment going forward towards my younger siblings. Number 1, is it the truth? Should I always tell my younger siblings the exact truth? I feel that we all have told children little fibs such as Santa is real or the ice cream is spicy, just to, protect their innocence or, protect your food maybe. But as I've gotten older, I realized that this has made some distrustment between me and my younger siblings. My siblings are around 8 to 12. That's an age where they're starting to realize what they really want in life. And I realized that I can't keep trying to protect them the best way I can because that's not my job as an older sister. My job is to be there for them and to tell them the truth and be open with them. So going forward, I intend to always tell the truth towards my siblings. Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Again, my siblings are starting to go through a phase of self-discovery, and so I've begun to realize that I cannot treat them all the same. I know a lot of people believe that the same treatment equals fair, but I've realized that just like how you and me all have different needs, different wants, different things that we have to do, so do younger children do. So I've realized that my focus going on should not be equality, but more equity. Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? For this question, I really wanted to focus on competition between children. As an older sister, I always tried to take on this role of mother, try to baby them and, pick sides. They had a file say, oh, you're wrong, or this person's right. And I didn't realize that by picking sides, I was setting them against each other, that it wasn't my job to do that, because I didn't know what I was doing. So going forward, my journey is to switch from being that judge character in their life to being a mediator, someone that they can come to and speak to and get advice from without judgment, because that is what my job is as an older sister. And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? For this question, I really wanted to ask myself is, are my actions intended to be the best for my younger siblings, or are they selfish? And I came to the conclusion that I'm not a selfish person. I think it's natural for children to want to be selfish, but I never really allowed myself to be. I often played the role of mother because I thought that's what was best, instead of being sister. But as I've gotten older, and as my siblings have gotten older, and we've gotten to know each other better, I realized that what's best for them and what's best for me is for us to play into our roles and be able to trust each other, to love each other, and to honestly communicate with each other. So therefore, I will be continuing to focus on the truth, building goodwill, being beneficial, and for everything to be beneficial to all concerned. Using the 4-way test, I have grown to understand that my actions, while good intention, were not a reflection of who I want to be. This has allowed me to further correct myself and better my relationships with all my siblings, the people that mean the absolute most to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyla. Very well done. Our next contestant is Zoe Hunt. Zoe is a 9th grade student at Young Women's Leadership Academy. She's currently in the engineering pathway, where she enjoys exploring how creativity and problem solving come together in STEM. Zoe hopes to pursue a career in patent law in the future, combining her interest in innovation with her passion for legal protection of new ideas. Zoe is also an active member of the Interact Club, where she participates in service projects and works to make a positive impact in her community. Please help me welcome Zoe Hutton.
In 1971, the 26th Amendment lowered the voting age to 18. Today, I'll be using the Rotary four-way test to analyze whether it would be beneficial to lower the voting age to 16. Number one, is it the truth? We have the act of voting to allow people to choose their leaders. It would be chosen by the majority of the vote, allowing it to represent what most of the citizens want. In the 2024 election, we saw that only 65% of people actually ended up voting. Our winning candidate had 49.8% of the votes. That's not even the majority of who voted, meaning that it was no way a representation of what the majority of people in the US would want. The people who voted were mostly in the older demographic. I believe that if we were to lower the voting age to 16, it would help younger generations to get the incentive to vote now, meaning that when they get older and go off on their own, they'd be more likely to continue it as they get older. Is it fair to all concerned? No. I won't say that lowering the voting age to 16 would help make voting equal. At 16, it would be heavily reliant on the parents to help the 16-year-old. They would be the ones having to teach people how to register for voting, how to research your candidates, and how to fill out a ballot. And this isn't fair to put on the adults. It also isn't fair to children who come from families that aren't having a good home life. It would put them at a bigger disadvantage, especially when they grow up and have to leave the house. But it's also not fair to have people at 16 who are expected to get a job, earn an income, and pay taxes to the government. The government takes that money and puts it towards stuff. But 16-year-olds don't get a single say in what that money goes to. We always say that we shouldn't have taxation without representation, and yet 16-year-olds are getting taxed and have no representation and no say about what that money goes to. While some people may say that at 16 you're not mature enough to know how to vote, it's also weird to consider that in some states, 17 is considered legally an adult. That means that we trust them to be mature enough to deal with the adult consequences of their actions, but not be able to have a say in what their future is going to be. Okay. Will it bring goodwill and better friendships? No. Whenever you deal with something like voting that does relate to politics, people tend to take two sides and then get very defensive of those sides. If you're to put someone at 16 with the right to vote, we'd be pushing them into a situation where everyone's expecting to take their sides. And when you don't, they're not very accepting of your opinion. At 16, you'd be pushed into this situation and you have no real way to prepare for it. I do believe that as we get older, we will realize that we don't want to put the younger generations in this situation. So yes, while it won't bring goodwill and better friendships in the short term, it will give people a chance to realize whether this is something they want to continue, and they may be able to realize that they don't want to put younger kids into this situation. It'll help them learn to be more accepting of people and their beliefs. Is it beneficial to all concerned? Like I said in the beginning, only 65% of people actually voted, and it's in the older demographic. When Duke did a study on why younger generations don't want to vote, they discovered that they don't know how to vote. And it makes sense. When you turn 18, you're leaving the nest for the first time and learning how to become independent. That means doing stuff without your parents' help. One of that things being voting. You won't know how to vote, and when you don't know how to do something, it's an uncomfortable experience that you're less likely to continue to do. That's why we're seeing younger generations not wanting to vote. They just don't know how. If we were to have them voting at 16, it would help them be able to develop the skills and the incentive to want to vote as they get older. When you grow up, you seem to learn that your voice only truly matters when you turn 18. That's when people will start taking you seriously and help you decide your future. If we allow people to vote at 16, it would help them learn that they have a say on what their future is going to be. It'll help them learn to develop a voice and help them figure out what they want their lives to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoe. Great job. Our next competitor is Con Huynh. Con is a 9th grade student at the Young Women's Leadership Academy. She enjoys baking, taking walks in the park, and spending time with her peers, Kiki and Biddy. Con is passionate about math and science, runs track, and is an active member of the Interact Club. She aspires to pursue her career as a perfusionist when she graduates. Please help me welcome Con.
The pain of perfection. I believe it's within human nature to want to be on top, to be number one, to be perfect. And I'm sure perfection is what led many of you guys here into this very room today. But when does perfection outweigh the benefits? When does it become too much to bear? What is the stopping point? Today, I'll be using the 4-way test to decide that. Firstly, is it the truth? A few weeks ago, I had my first ever track meet, and I went on a run to attempt to prove my time. Of course, we can all assume that it ended pretty badly, and I ended up developing tendinitis. So I did anything a reasonably sane person did, and I continued on with my track meet. So after my first event, which was the 800-meter run, I did my second event. With the stabbing ache, a pain in my foot, I ran. Spoilers, I didn't win. But I think this is a prime example of how humans crave validation, whether it be from your peers, family, or your parents. I think perfection is the pain of sacrifice. Secondly, is it fair to all concerned? With our society and everything getting more developed, we constantly have competition. Who is better than who? And I'm sure you are comparing yourself with your colleagues and maybe, I want that promotion, or maybe you're retired, but you can think back. And with high school, this is further amplified towards our students. In a study in 2013, they found 66% of students feel stressed or anxious due to academic pressure. I think perfection is good, but towards ourselves isn't. It leads to negative thoughts. Will it build goodwill and better friendship? In a perfect world, we can all be number one and stand on the podium together. But I don't think the world doesn't have a big enough podium. So only one person could be number one. So I don't believe it will build goodwill or better friendship. And with social media, we constantly see a facade of perfection. They look perfect. So we constantly ask ourselves, why am I not them? Why am I not perfect? Why didn't I do that first? So no, I don't think it would build better friendships or goodwill. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Frankly, I think perfection can force you to improve, to better yourself. But perfection is like a drug, addicting. And once you get a taste of it, you'll never forget. And this constantly forces you into a cycle of bad thoughts of yourself. During midterm season or final season, every time I study or every time I crack open my textbook, every beat of my heart is painful, especially when you have a twin sister who is equally smart and then some. I think deep inside, I still crave validation from my parents to be perfect when I show them my perfect score or when I get 100 on a test. And so I leave it to you, the audience. Is pain worth the perfection? The pain that you can feel in every step, in every heartbeat, in every time your neurons fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Con. Very well done. Our next competitor is Janelle Sowaklu. Janelle is a junior at Young Women's Leadership Academy. She interns at First Trip Incorporated, where she gains experience in retail operations and customer service. Janelle is an active member of the Teen Advocacy Council and the Interact Club, and is especially interested in how public relations influence the field of law, an area in which Janelle plans to pursue advanced studies in the future. Please help me in welcoming Janelle. This is a gesture, and then Ed's right there with the time cards.
Thank you. I want to start by telling you all a story. A few weeks ago, I met an extraordinary person in the aisle of an Aldi supermarket. He was a young man and he was shopping in the fruit section. I was strolling by, I glanced down at his cart and I noticed it filled to the brim with bags full of cherries. It was the strangest thing I'd saw all day. And man, was it a lot of cherries. I mean, the most amount of cherries I'd ever seen in a cart at one time. I guess that he just really liked cherries, but eventually my curiosity got better of me. And I asked him why he was buying so many cherries. He told me his story about his late grandfather who'd served in the Vietnam War, who'd passed away, and looked to cherries as a symbol of sacrifice. He'd been buying the cherries because he was going to make batches of cherry pie, because him and his family were gathering to honor the legacy of his late grandfather. Safe to say, the conversation got pretty heavy pretty fast, but I'm so glad it did because I gained so much perspective from one conversation with a simple stranger. And it got me thinking, wow, what a hero. Not a cliche superhero, not a paranormal human, a hero. How many of us know stories from strangers we never talked to? How many of us have hero stories within ourselves that we've never told anyone else? I wanted to look at everyone outside in the parking lot, wondering who they were, where they came from, what challenges they've been through, and how they overcame those challenges, what they've achieved. It led me to ask myself the question, should we modify our perception of humility? Because if the man thought that he would be bragging by telling me his story about his grandfather, I would never have been touched. Who here would have known his story if he had refrained because he wanted to be modest or humble? Before I answer this question of should we modify our perception of humility, I first want to take a look at the four-way test. The first question is it the truth? Is it the truth that people often mistake humility for silence? I think so. People often push away their achievements or kind of downplay what they've been through in order to make everyone else feel comfortable or not to appear as they're bragging. You might even find yourself at the table, gearing away from the conversation because you don't want to seem as entitled or you're bragging. This leads me to the next question. Is it fair to all concerned? If someone came to you seeking advice or counsel from your experiences, only to be met with an unintentionally cold shoulder because you don't want to be seen as bragging, it doesn't seem equal. It doesn't seem fair, especially if that person has came to you with their experiences, hoping for validation in return. This leads me to the next question. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Well, every hero from every community has reached out to other heroes to kind of connect with each other, share their strengths, their struggles, their goals. And when heroes come together to share lessons, it is way more powerful than one self-evaluation that you kept to yourself. I mean, I imagine that's what we're all doing here now, sharing our lessons with one another. That brings me to my next question. Is it beneficial for all concerned? If you want to be inspired by someone else, you have to be able to see the hero in them. And it starts by knowing their story. If you want to be inspired, if you want to learn how to make an impact on your community, you have to let loose. You have to learn that it is not bragging by sharing your experiences. It is not inhumane, or it is not something that should be looked down upon to share your accomplishments. And I want to say this because I know a lot of us have achieved great things in our lives that we are too afraid to speak about because we don't want to hurt the other people around us. But I want you to know that it is not bragging. I don't ask that we do away with humility. I simply ask that we change our perception of humility to notice the distinction between silence and humility. We are all heroes and we all have a story to tell. So share it with one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. Fantastic job. Our last competitor is Justice Smith. Justice is a junior at Young Women's Leadership Academy. She's passionate about health and plans to pursue a career in the medical field. Justice is committed to being involved in our community and works hard to ensure that all voices and perspectives are heard. She currently serves as the president of the Teen Advocacy Council, where she leads efforts to empower students, promote awareness, and support positive change on campus and beyond. Please help me in welcoming Justice.
What is the right way to live? Today, I will be using the 4-way Rotary test to analyze my contemplating desire to live a carpe diem mindset versus a planning mindset, to see how I should live life going forward as a 17-year-old girl turning 18 soon. Is it the truth? Well, is it the truth that I have a battling mindset between whether or not I should seize the day or if I should plan for my future? Yes, I struggle every single day to figure out how I need to go about my day or proceed about my future to ensure that I am doing things to the fullest of my best ability. It's very overwhelming as when days go by and I realize there's something I could have done, or maybe I just didn't plan for something, it's very hard on me because I feel like I could have done more. And I mean, I feel like we've all gone through this feeling of regret of doing something we should have done or doing something we should have planned for. And it's very settling when I'm close to becoming 18 and I realize that these are things I have to prepare for and also be ready to realize that I either have to take advantage of things or I have to plan for them. Is it fair to all concerned? Is it fair that I battle the desire to live a carpe diem life mindset versus a planning mindset? No. As I face anxiety every day to make sure I'm living it to the fullest. Am I going out? Am I enjoying time with my mother? Am I enjoying my friends? Without that kind of anxiety or pressure, I feel like maybe I'm not doing or living my day to the fullest. And I also face anxiety about the future. When I turn 18, am I gonna get a job? Am I gonna graduate? Am I gonna be somebody who can make my parents and my mother proud? Those are all things that I feel aren't fair to me, but it's also not fair to my mother. And I feel as parents, people understand that you feel what your child feels. And I feel what my mother feels. And sometimes I realize that my stress is her stress. And she can't control how I feel, and it makes it harder on her. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will this mindset of mine, contemplating between the two, build better friendships? No. I mean, if I'm too overwhelmed to enjoy the presence and what's in front of me, then it makes it hard for me to really look at my friends and have them understand that, hey, I'm here for you. I'm willing to listen to you. But if I'm also too worried about the current time, then I can't focus on when they're like, hey, Justice, what about this tomorrow? Or what about this next week? If I'm too busy trying to concern myself with my own problems and my own situations, it distracts me from being able to acknowledge others. And it could put me in a sour mood or cause others around me to feel like she's not able to be a good friend to me. And that could really hurt my goodwill to others, which is something I wouldn't want. Is it beneficial to all concerned? The truth is, it's not. As much as I would love for it to be beneficial, that I can go back and forth in my own mind and say, I want to do this today. I want to go to Disney World, or I want to plan for, I don't know, a $12 million trip. Who knows? These aren't things that I necessarily can control, and it will only bring me more stress to try to control a future or a present that I necessarily don't have all the control over. And it only, again, brings more stress to my mother because I am a mama's girl. Everything that affects her is gonna affect me, and at the end of the day, her stress is what really pushes me to do better for not only her, but for me as well. And I just hope that throughout this test, I have learned that I need to realize what balance is. And through balance, I need to realize I don't need to choose a carpe diem mindset or a planning mindset. I need to learn how to live. And through living, I need to realize that every day is going to be different. And all I can do is understand that I can only control so much, and how my days go about is what will ultimately happen, and I hope that it is really beneficial to me in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. If you don't mind, I'd like for all of us to give one more round of applause for all the young ladies. Wonderful job. I want to thank each of you for the time you put in, for the courage it took to get up here and speak to this room today. You all did fantastic. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, and go get some dessert if you haven't already. So now the judges are going to take a few minutes and tabulate, and we will announce our winner today. Everyone that participated will receive a cash prize. We'll only announce the winner today because that winner will go on and represent our club against winners from other clubs at the next level of competition. And we're going to be in good hands regardless of who the winner that is selected will be. With that, I'll turn it over to President Ann for some initial closing remarks, but please stick around and we'll have a winner to announce very shortly. Thank you.
Is it the truth? I can tell you one truth we've learned today. These young women are amazing. They really are. I also want to take a few minutes to thank the parents of these exceptional young women, some of whom are here today. We know how important the support of parents is, and we appreciate you sharing these fine young women with us. While we wait for the judges to compile the scores, we'll go ahead and make our closing announcements. So I appreciate you hanging in there with us. We are fast approaching the Richard L. Knight Minority Business Awards, which will be on Friday, April 17th, just a little more than a month from today. And we're pleased today to welcome Moffitt Financial as a supporting sponsor. Thank you, Derek Moffitt. Our international committee will be meeting today in the Rotary office immediately following our meeting. So if you're on the international committee, please hang around. Next week, our program will feature Jake Bain, who is the digital services leader at Whitley Penn. I know you want to hear him, and I think they will also be providing some tax information as well, since that's coming up. On your tables, you have bios of all the students who participated today. So I hope you have a chance to have looked at these and take these, because one of these days, whether 16-year-olds get the right to vote or not, some of these people are going to be in charge. So remember, you heard them here first. Also on your tables is a flyer about the Texas Ballet performance. That's coming up on March 14th, which is next week. Brenda, you want to add anything?
It's awesome.
It
It's also open bar before the performance, so sign up.
Yes. And be sure and take this and scan the QR code, because if you type in Rotary for the promo code, you get 20% off, which is a good deal. It's a good deal. All right, do we have any further announcements? Because the judges have disappeared. I think it's probably a difficult decision for them. I don't know any good jokes. All right, what does a perfusionist do? Monitors cardio activity during a surgery. So in the medical field. Learn something new every day. Any other questions or announcements? Well, let's talk about membership. Almost every week we introduce someone in a first or second meeting or who has gone through the whole membership process. And I just want to say new members are really important to this organization. And I hope that you will consider thinking about who in your circle of friends would like to join Rotary or find it beneficial to all concerned. Because we have a great group, yet we always like to have new members. And if you need information about that, you can see Aurora in the back there, or either of our two membership chairs, Rebecca Montgomery or Deanna. Any other announcements? Yes, sir, Mr. Jordan.
May 4th is the Opus Nova.
Yes.
Concert.
And do we still have tickets?
They have a couple of tickets, so if anybody is interested in that, it's a house concert with clarinets, focusing on getting good music.
That will be fun. And I understand that it's just great and almost sold out, right? Maybe a couple of tickets left. All right. And the judges, thank goodness, are on their way back. And we are very pleased that Tennessee is going to make the announcement of who the winners are. Tennessee.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you all for your patience and for staying. Very tough job for our judges. We had 6 wonderful speeches. But I am proud to announce that our contest winner for the year is Janelle Sawaklu. Janelle, come on up. Thank you. One more round of applause for Janelle. Thank you. Yep, there it is. Yeah, we'll do a picture right here.
All right, well, congratulations, Janelle, and to all of our participants from the Young Women's Leadership Academy. We're proud of every one of you. And thanks again to Tennessee Walker and the Patterson Law Group for sponsoring today's competition. Have a great weekend. Our meeting is adjourned.